Hi guys, how's it going? I'm joined here by Dale and Alini, a couple of fans down on the floor. They've been thoroughly enjoying the 2-0 so far. Guys, what's it like seeing SK going up 2-0 here in the grand finals?
Fantastic.
It's awesome. It's really amazing. Hopefully they will make this third one and they will go there invicted, so it's going to be cool.
Now, Alini, I understand that you actually have a family member on stage.
Yes, Fair is my cousin, yeah. So that's pretty cool to watch him. I haven't seen him for at least like 4-6 years, because I've been in Australia for 6 years and been in the US for like 2.5. So seeing him here, like, it's just amazing.
You've got to be very proud. He's kicking a lot of ass today.
I'm really proud, actually. Actually, all his family, they are in Brazil at this moment. So it's probably like the 3-4 a.m., something like this. So they're also following them. So beijo, tia Laila, beijo, Rafael, Rodrigo, beijo pra Luísa.
All right, anything else you want to say to the crowd, guys?
Absolutely. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
Oi, oi, oi!
Thank you very much, guys. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you very much, Milo, and good to hear from fans that have travelled quite a decent distance here to see some great Counter-Strike. And everyone watching around the world, of course, at weird hours of the night, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Inferno, it's going to be the next map.
Desperate times.
This is the last chance for Faze to make something happen, to stay alive in this series.
You see, this is where you kind of question Faze's pick, in a sense that first map they pick Train, SK gets to start on the CT side. Now they pick Inferno, SK again gets to start on the CT side. Okay, first map for Train, maybe you're not as warmed up. Here you should be, but still it's a CT-sided map, at least in my opinion. And we've seen how SK brought that dominant CT side against Astralis in the group stages here in Sydney. So this will be extremely scary if you're a Faze fan right now.
Yeah, just to build on the Inferno, the way that SK played the double AWP system compared to the way Faze did, Faze were relatively reserved. They were actually playing in the back of the site. They were sitting at the new box. They were sitting at coffins. On the A side of the map, the AWP was relatively stuck on the arch side. But you look at the way that SK are able to approach it, they use it more attacking on the CT side. Fallen's always holding a relatively aggressive banana angle and then falling back, which is fantastic. That's what you want to do. And then towards A, they even use it on the quad side, AWPing into Boiler, the Diggity side, AWPing into Boiler and mid, and then moving around from there. And I think this is where you want to have a transitional defense. This is one of the best maps in the world to do that. You play for information and then you drop back. For halls, for example, you don't want to be playing in pit from the start of the round. You want to be like jiggle peeking at the end of halls once you get that info, drop a little bit further back. Same with mid. You need to contest that because once they know you're not facing it, they're just going to walk up and swarm all over you.
So obviously SK have had a lot of success with 2 AWPs in the game, and on the CT side in Inferno, this is not exactly a write-off. How are you looking to play a transitional defense with AWPs? Obviously, it's not like you can commit to Car and Banana and try and fire from there because it's so hard to get away.
Yeah, you just pick and fall basically, because the AWP is scary. You can't just re-pick on an AWP right if you're a rifler. If he takes a shot and even if he misses, you're not just going to step out and hope for the best. You're going to take your time, you're going to use a pop flash, you're going to try and push him off that next angle. He may have already fallen back to the third or fourth angle, and you're just wasting time, and that's a great thing you want to do on the CT. You want to waste that minute 55 on the clock.
I think the problem is once you know that there's an AWPer waiting for you in Banana, it's not that difficult for you to counter it on the T side. That's why a double AWP setup, for me at least, on the CT side shouldn't be used all the time. It should be maybe something you throw their way to switch things up, but if they know that there's an AWPer waiting in Banana, you can flash him out, you can use your Molotov so that he can't hold a forward position, and then with the rest of your utility, when you go into an actual full B execute, the AWPer has nowhere to go. You'll molly off the spots like the new boxes. If he stands in the open because of the Molotovs, he's going to be completely blind. Also, if there's a secondary AWP on A, that's going to make the retake very, very difficult. So I think it's something that's more situational. Astralis has a very good way of playing against double AWP when they're playing the T side. So Faze is definitely going to go for it at some point. I'm interested to see how SK will approach their T side in that case.
And talking about first Faze's T side in this case, what are the tools that they have available to them to try and deconstruct what SK sort of play? They play maybe a little bit more forward, they maybe take a couple more risks with these AWPs.
Yeah, some good stuff you can do to catch that off guard is, we saw this, Fnatic kind of brought this into the meta in Inferno a couple of years ago, was when the CTs are throwing that top mid smoke, you're just going to creep up right behind that smoke, and as you're in it, you're going to get a perfect pop flash that comes through and flashes everybody in middle. The T's CTs storm into the mid wall, and if the CTs try and retake it, you're all set up ready in positions to kill them, right? We haven't actually seen that come in the new iteration of Inferno yet. I think Envious are one of the only teams who are really doing that pop flash and then take mid quickly strategy at this point in time, but that's one way to deal with it. Another way to deal with it is by getting apps and boiler control very quickly. Once you force them into those positions, they have to drop back or they have to choose to take the fight because they're in like a limbo period that becomes too many angles to watch. It's a bit awkward.
What have we seen from Faze in terms of their ability to come back from a large deficit? We know teams like Astralis have learned to do it the hard way and have even gone to the extent of employing a sports psychologist to help them maintain a positive mindset. This is a team of very skilled players, but when the going gets tough, can they get going?
It is questionable for now. I don't think they've shown yet that Astralis level of grind. We've seen that so far in this grand final, although they were very, very close. I think it's because to an extent of the way they play. They do still make some mistakes. They are a bit sloppy when they go for those individual plays, and that's kind of going to hurt your consistency, right? When the gamble doesn't pay off or when an individual player isn't playing at a very high level, then you're maybe not going to be able to make that comeback.
There's a bit of a storyline going around at the moment, or at least that one that's been propagated if you read a lot of articles, and we spent a lot of time in this tournament centering on the rivalry between FaZe and Astralis, the fact that they've got bad blood there, the fact that they have been competing for these titles, and now SK have essentially come out of nowhere. People are probably scrutinizing FaZe at this stage and wondering if they've prepared adequately to take on a team like SK.
Well, I guess you want to prepare for your biggest rival, right? And if that's Astralis, then good on them. And Karrigan's always going to have that grudge there when coming up against his ex-teammates. There's always going to be that little bit of extra going in from him. In this matchup, it's not about them being prepared. It's just the brand of Counter-Strike they've had to play to get to finals or to beat Astralis in finals is just to beat Astralis, right?
And also a matter of them facing Astralis before, right? So they know them better than they know SK, and you go one opponent at a time. Astralis obviously was their semi-final matchup. You're going to prepare for that first. Also, being from the same region, you just get to face them more, even in online leagues. Karrigan, being in Astralis, again, knows more about the players than they know about SK Gaming, and that's why this is a big challenge for FaZe. That's why we prefaced it by saying they need to prove more, they need to beat more Tier 1 teams before we can say, okay, FaZe is now the best team in the world.
I think a few key elements missing for FaZe right now is obviously Alo's ult. We haven't seen a lot of it, and that's not necessarily his fault. It's the economy on the T sides haven't really been going for FaZe. And Keo as that rock, we saw a couple of little highlights of that. He won that 2v1 clutch on Train where he was doing a bit of parkour over the bomb train to win that situation. But those are the guys who stand up and they play instrumental roles. They might not always be the top fraggers, but they need to be solid in those positions to get you a win. And speaking of that, the way that Keo lifts himself towards that B site as that third man on Inferno specifically, he's there throwing smokes and flashes for Karrigan and Nico to hold off a bit of early banana aggression. I don't know if they're going to need him to do that against SK, because I think SK's banana control is quite weak. They can probably just cheat him over towards that A bomb site pretty early.
That's something that's very important, like later on in the round. If Keo does that, Keo is the pit player. That means he doesn't have a smoke to smoke off A apps late on into the round, which is maybe one of the most powerful choke points to smoke off. When that late A round execute comes in, it's very difficult for the T side player who's coming out of apps to be effective, basically, if he has to come out of a smoke. And in general, saving utility, in addition to what Chad mentioned, you having to pick and prod and then fall back, having enough utility to combat that later on executes is more important on Inferno than it is on some of the other maps, simply because the choke points are so narrow. If you have one incendiary to throw down quad, you can basically make that whole execute for the T's way more difficult to pull off.
Yeah, that's definitely going to come into play here, because if you saw the way that SK were able to beat Astralis on Inferno, some of the T rounds came from those really good splits on pit, where they managed to get mid control, wrap around that arch side. The two pit players from Astralis were engaged in fights. They had to look away from halls, and then Taco and Phelps coming out super late. So they're going to need whatever tools they have to stop that duo in the apps part of the map, maybe even take the fight to them early and try some aggression, which isn't really the FaZe style on Inferno at the moment.
The issue is on Cash, FaZe had a very poor CT side, right? So they didn't have much to work with when they switched to the T side. We saw that their T side on Train was underwhelming. Here on Inferno now they have to start on the T side as well against a very, very strong CT-sided team in SK. So they need to get enough rounds so that they get to play the CT side, which is where Alu is actually maybe one of his most comfortable map right now. He's one of the most dangerous stoppers on Inferno in that short and mid-range on the CT side. He really gets a lot of work done every time for FaZe.
FaZe were they appeared to me to be the crowd favorites, right? When they walked out initially, they had the louder cheers, but SK seemed to be stealing a bit of the support. But I think everybody right now, Mitch, wants to see this one go more maps.
I think we do as well. I'd hate to have to finish this one early and head back to the hotel, especially with what we've been given from this crowd so far.
Oh.
Robban's playing.
He's playing.
Is that a
He's
thing?
in.
That's it. Kerrigan's out. Two bad T sides. You're out. Gets
Maybe
Robban
Robban
in.
just wants to go up against Fallen again.
Wow, that'd be some time, wasn't it?
Blast from the past.
Rolling back the years.
Rolling back the years, right?
So it's evident here as well that we are waiting on one player. Unfortunately, I don't think Robban is going to be gracing us. So we have a little bit of time, gentlemen.
Bit of a bowel situation maybe for Kerrigan.
Maybe. Hope not. That
No,
would be
we
a bit
all get it.
unfortunate.
We all get it. Before matches, you get a little bit nervous. There's nothing you can do about it.
Also, the pizza break as well that we see after the second map also can play tricks on you. I spoke to, I think it was Keo actually in Katowice, and the pizza didn't quite agree with him in that
Do
break.
they have? Maybe they need like oranges and bananas. You know, keep the levels high.
For all I know, they may have had those as well.
Yeah.
But
There he is.
Hey, there's the man.
But yeah, it has to be said, it's not just about, city side, T side. I think in general, it's safe to say that Faze has been underperforming individually across the team. Besides maybe Nico, Rain is not on that level that we saw yesterday against Astralis. And when you have such a skilled lineup against yourself in the likes of SK, you can't really afford that to happen.
If there is one player, that you really want to be on their game on this particular map from Faze, who would it be?
That's always Nico.
Alu.
Nico and Alu, both of them with some responsibility on their shoulders. It's last chance saloon for Faze Clan, the European experiment, the mix up against SK Gaming, now rising back to former glory. Let's see if it ends here or if we get a few more maps in. Henry, Sadakist, it's all you.
Thanks very much, Mitch. Yes, Inferno is an interesting one. I agree with what Yanko said in terms of the order, because you put two maps that are both CT-sided against you, against a team that is very good on them as well. So they've got a huge advantage, SK. And being up two maps, it's all the pressure on Faze at this point.
Absolutely. Well, we're going for some banana control, pushing the CDs back. It's Faze on the T side. This is their map pick, but like the guy said on the desk, Alu, this is his stomping ground. He's amazing on this map, but he's been absent in the grand final so far. He needs to find some movement here. But here we go. Phelps getting some attention towards middle, not backing down just yet. Wants to find the silence. USB headshots and delivers the first one. Alu, he goes down first.
He went for that reload standing in the open after not seeing anyone. Caught him out, took him down to 80. Could have been a lot worse off. He goes back to find the kill that starts us in this map 3, Taco. Gets in closer toward the position of apartments as Fallen will sit atop Banana. It's Rain that's going to rotate around over, but watch inside of the middle position, because that's where they're going to accumulate. With Boiler already occupied by Kiyoshima, this will be a fast play toward A most likely. There's no smokes left. Kerrigan with a flash. Rain in a dash takes down Taco. It's Cold that's got to try and wait with a pillar in front to bait it out. Both sides, Nico samming none of it. Pistols are split 2-2. Faze looking to try and take their third. As Nico has to smoke off to Library, that'll hold off Fallen as he wants to try and make his way back toward the site.
Yeah, this is looking very promising now. 4 players up for Faze Clan. The bomb planted as well. It's up to Fur and Fallen. No kits available or grenades. So they'll be coming in together. Fallen can't find the headshot. Nico, he picks up his third of the round. He's been fantastic so far. But Fur, he's still going to be fighting back. Another chance there towards the pit, but can't quite find the headshot. That should be the round concluded. At this point, he's at the third. Maybe farm some cash for the rounds going forward. Each kill will give him $300 as he makes his way to the end of the apartment here.
For the only hope. Gets a shot into Keo. Tries to desperately spray it and close out the kill, but he's got to back away from it.
Yeah.
And he's got armor, so forget it. Just save the armor, I guess, at this point in time. There's no chance he wins the round. And Faze started off 1-0, a very important pistol T-side of Inferno.
Does a good job there. Faze kind of overall, but it's Nico hitting some tremendous shots after going down 5-on-4. The initial exchange in middle as Alu got dropped first. They go towards the apartments and Cold Zera flashed off. Can't get anything done towards the quad side. And it's going to be 1-0 in favor of Faze. Just what they need here after going 2-0 down. It is the best of 5 yards. Just joining us. The force by, of course, coming in from SK Gaming. Fur with the UMP. Like we said, he got a couple of kills. Managed to just get an SMG and head armor as well. Towards Banana we go once again. It's going to be Phelps by the wall position, backed up by Fur as well, who's got that aforementioned SMG. Molotov out of position for now.
Flash over, Phelps. Right position, but can't find the kill. Nico goes down to 4, just barely gets away with it. Either way, it was going to be traded, but not even a kill for Phelps, and all of that is a bit disappointing for him.
Yeah, well, that should be it. It's very difficult to retake this B bomb site, especially when it's been smoked off. You've got no presence there whatsoever. Fallen just pushes through the PT-50. That's not bad at all. Headshot to take down the bomb as well. Buys them some time.
Yeah, you say a retake's hard.
Yeah, it's
Not if they don't have any take at all, because Fallen walks in, and as we already mentioned, Nico on 4, so it's a good find from Kiyoshima to catch off Taco way over toward A as he late lurks. Cold sees him, but realizes there's not much point trying to rotate over to B. That's likely gone as well. So Fallen will sit for exits. Keo's going to give up the position on A and just rotate around, not to give up any further weapons.
Absolutely well. Cold Zera available. Fallen, already much to save. He's already found a kill. Trying to do a little bit more there by pushing through the smoke, but this should be almost certainly a Faze round at this point. Just Cold Zera remaining for terrorists in front of him. Great damage inflicting. See Nico down 4, Kirishima on 3 as well. But that's all this round will provide for the Brazilian side. Zera waiting in CT spawn, lying in wait, seeing if he can get another couple of headshots here. Doesn't look like they'll be exiting through CT spawn. It's very common now for terrorists to actually stay together, go back down towards Banana. Ale will just be listening out for any sort of ninja nonsense coming his way. Not going to be happening, of course. Cold Zera on the other side of the map. Another clean round there for Faze, focusing on the Banana area, using their utility effectively. Molotovs towards the key positions, taking down those first 2 players. Only 1 frag coming in favor. That's thanks to Fallen pushing through the smoke with a P250 of all weapons and actually nailing a nice little headshot there. 2-0 and a full eco for SK. Not many options you can do here. It's one of those rounds that doesn't really equate to too much. If you can get a couple of kills and maybe make things uncomfortable for Faze, take some money away from them, that's about as good as it's going to get. PT50 for Fallen. Cold Zera, of course, saving his deagle. He's very good at that weapon. Maybe he can provide some magic. Who knows?
If Phelps stays deep in the site, they're going to go full stack. Well, I shouldn't say full, but 4-man stack toward B.
Yeah.
Cold's just peeking down mid with the deagle that he saved. Wants to try and hit some magic shots. They might walk in. Got one far, not quite lined up headshot for it. Close range, he certainly is though. Rain's not having any of it.
Yeah, well, this stack, you're just hoping that Faze make a mistake. Maybe Cool just rush B, try and get it done as quickly as possible. It's quite rare. It'd be quite silly to make that call in this situation. Go together, use the smokes, go towards middle. Cold Zera, he was the only real trouble for them around here. The arm and the deagle, he doesn't get anything going. And this should be 5 players surviving for Faze at this point. They shouldn't even have to go hunting. It's not even worth it. Unless the SMGs, that maybe the MAC-10 can go running to CD spawn and get some extra cash. But SK are aware of that. They'll just be grouping up in towards that ruins position, stacking on each other's heads. I think maybe all 3 of them will survive, who knows. It's not even worth them trying to challenge, right? Let's hope this stack, maybe they can find a terrorist trying to hunt them down. Time will tell. Carrigan's making his way there. He doesn't really want the MAC-10 into the next round. We've discussed that in the previous map, and here he comes. The stack we're waiting for him, though.
Carrigan slowly walks in and looks up, sees it. Ali trades the last. Nice try, SK. Cute. No cigar. There's going to be a buy-in immediately, though, on the AWP for Fallen. He's got a glass cannon with a Molotov rather than armor.
Heading towards B, but looks things as well. Running before the first gun round. Once again, Faze get a 3-0. They had this on cash, and they got 1 gun round after that, so they need to improve on that. Let's see what they can do here. Limited SK for sure, full on the glass cannon, but he heads in for an aggressive play by the looks of things. Smoke towards the bottom, incendiary use as well. He won't be pushing out all the way. It's going to be another default round for Faze overall. Just trying to establish map control. The objective mainly get apartments first. Attackers are aware of that. Just trying to do some chip damage here with the HE grenades. Actually going quite fast towards middle. Phelps going to be challenged.
Kerrigan, though, to shut him down early. Taco with the hit. It's UMP from this range. He's got to tap it. He's got to be perfect. And the longer he takes, the sooner they get over top of him and take over the pin position. Cold found by Nico. Faze is looking excellent. Much better than they have at the start of the previous 2 maps. Fallen will at least get 1, and first starts off with the UMP and an aggressive retake, but they've already backed off. They've already given it up. They don't have kits. They do have 1 on Fur, but he's far away, so 4-0 for Faze.
Nice, fast, assertive round there from Faze. Default at the start, only waited for about 10 seconds there once he had control of the apartment. 1 smoke up, go towards Arch, challenge a player there, and it was Phelps who only had the FAMAS. The radio is getting battered as well. Great start by Faze, getting the 4-0 on the T side. Certainly still a CT side map overall. It's more balanced than previous iterations of Inferno in general, but Faze are very good. This is how they won Starlight as a final map, and it was dicey to say the least, man. The fact is, remember the double orb set up on the CT side. Certainly a controversial talking point. Nico seemed quite stubborn to stay on that orb, just about got away with it in the end, but it didn't look pretty.
So 4-0 start, still Fallen on the AWP. They call a pause immediately.
Well, yeah, it's a chance now to work out. They've got about 3K per player, so Fur and Fallen can drop UMPs. They just take the pause just to decide how they distribute the wealth right now. Fallen AWP, always worth forcing around. We'll see when they can step up here. T-side all comes in as well for Ali, like you said. This is probably his absolute best map, one of the top AWPers on this map right now. It's still in its infancy, I would say, overall. We've seen it at a few tournaments now. I think it was Vegas as the first showing of it officially, wasn't it? And then him alone was actually showing us how aggressive you can be on the CT side, and he can be so dynamic and explosive, and we'll see where he can deliver in the second half. But for now, so far so good for Faze. Force spike comes in. Like I said, distributing well, 2 UMPs, a couple of M4s, and the Fallen Orb, after dropping weapons as well, he's still on a glass cannon, meaning he has no armor at all.
Ali with the top shot toward mid. Doesn't have anyone cross directly in front of him. They won't have any information as to exactly what SK has done yet. Smokes off top banana though, decent exchange. Nico waiting to see above it, but reads the fact that the flash comes through, and Fur has no idea how to respond as they try and get a jump to try and exactly figure out the spot where Nico's gone. Yeah. Nope, still can't do anything from Fallen. So good win for Nico. Fallen. No armor, tagged to 32 as a result of trying to take the fight further, and Taco's gone now as well.
This is looking rough. Fallen under 32 HP. They don't have to overcommit here. A minute to play with. You know Fallen's on the B side of the map as well. Looks like they're going for the arch side of Wrap here. Up the Cold Zero to deliver once again. Can he find the first headshot? Blind should be taken down here. He's got a lot in front of him.
Nico looking to try and hold off Library as they go for the default position plant. And another save has to come in. So SK gonna go down 0-5. Right now in this tournament, their map total is 7-0. Just keep that in mind. They've not yet dropped a map in this event.
Quite the tournament. Group stages, they look formidable in this grand final. Showing us what they're made up against. Arguably one of the world's best teams right now. Faze certainly gunning for that #1 spot considering their recent performances. Not really turned up in this grand final so far, but like we said, best of 5. It's never too late. And they're looking great here on #3.
Problem as well for SK, having forced in around that AWP, they leave themselves with very little in the next. They'll get a maximum lost round bonus. So this one gun saved by Phelps, massive for them, but it's not the AWP that Fallen had. That's now gone. They'll get the full 3,400, but not much more than that.
Yeah, these are so difficult. I think there's the partial buy had to come in here. Let's stabilize.
Oh, they're going all in.
Okay. Maybe not necessarily all in.
Yeah, 1,000 each, so they'll be fine
Yeah.
with the max loss bonus in the next. They'll put them still just 44 CT side.
Yeah, but Fallen's still at 3,200. That's the main storyline. If he can get out that AWP, he's obviously going to get over 6K after this one. So a bit of investment with the saved M4. Maybe they can cause some damage this round. Fallen's been amazing with the scout so far. Nice little booster to kick things off. Looking for any players running up towards that banana position. But Faze now must be slowing it right down. Default for now, not going for the early banana control. Just trying to work out what kind of buy the CDs have available to them. Now they'll be flashing in. That should push forward back slightly, not so much. And he might just find another scout headshot here. Can't quite do it. Ali strikes first.
Good opening for Faze to work with as Ali wants to try and find more in B. Smokes down, they have to go wide. Orange is one, quick peek. Fur on the shoulder. It's Kiyoshima that's done very well on the entry. And Rain to follow that up. It's Taco, the only left alive. Just trying with a deagle to do anything you can. All 5 stay up. 6-0 for Faze.
Yeah, identical round from Faze once again. It's going to be the most important round of all coming up now. SK with a full buy coming in. That was just a partial, and here's the shot from Ali towards that broken wall position. It's going to be scout, and see how fast that was. Stands up, he reads it very well indeed. Nice work by Alu. We're going to round #7. Okay, so I'm going to run away with this one. We have the double AWP setup, very common these days, especially in the hands of sort of things like G2. Kind of started that trend. It's very strong indeed, but can be countered with the full executions.
Early possession of that side of the map for Faze. Phelps and Taco will play a passive cross toward A. No one in pit this time. They haven't exactly had the most success there, but they haven't had the weaponry to do it. Good opening from Cold. Finally something to work with for SK as the smoke goes down at mid. Finally, they've already got the kill, and they've got Boiler Door still under watch.
Yeah, normally double AWP setups come in these sort of scenarios. You're a bit desperate, need an adjustment. He was watching Boiler, managing to get the opening pick. Kiyoshima, nice scout to take down there. So 5-on-4. Fallen. We're patrolling towards the other side of the map. They have got no kit here, so keep hold of this advantage. Not let anything slip away. Got a passive hold now. They've got that first pick. The hard work's been done. Fall back to the bomb site, get the crossfires established. And it's up to Nico now to make something happen on the B side of the map.
It's Fallen. That'll have to watch this early entrance. Cold's got Kerrigan. That's offside. Fallen does miss the entry, though. That gives a little bit more position, as they want to try and bait Fur in. Fallen's trying to do so, but smoke goes down. It's an early and deep smoke. Nico reads it so well to pre-fire into Fur. Falling gets saved by Cold. Now the question is, how much did Nico see? I think he would have been still in gray at that point, because that means they won't be able to spot Fur getting boosted, or excuse me, Cold being boosted by Fallen. It's a 4 versus 2 in the retake. SK's best chance to find a round. They've got to confront Alu, who has had a much better game. Part of it, in fact, that the team's done better and had the economy to work with. Molotov to new box. Cold hits Rain immediately with it, and Alu's been tagged. They'll start to hear that fire in. Successful. We go 6-1 and 4 stay alive.
Yeah, that's big news. Just to mention that as well. That huge investment in the double orbs. Win this round, only one player surviving. You'd have not much to work with going forward. So 4 staying alive is great. Cold Zera, he steps up with 4 kills. The double orb setup doing tremendous work there as SK post their first round.
First 4 kills for Cold in this game.
That's great, right? What a way to stand up.
Well, exactly that, but he goes from the bottom to the top. Taco's still yet to get on the board. That 4 kills is the most for anyone right now on SK.
That's kind of insane. Well, now they're a little bit more established. You have the full buys, no glass cannons here. They have utility to work. A very important part of Inferno. You need that to lock out the T's and deny executions. Throw the incendiaries down as they commit. Fallen now looking to go maybe slightly more aggressive here, but the Molotov should deny some sort of control towards that car position. Nico, though, same story for him on the other side. Another default for Faze overall. We'll see whether Alu can get anything going here. It can be boosted up above the smoke, but it's Rain to find the first headshot on Cold Zera. On the other side of the map in the apartments position, Cold Zera with an AWP shut down after finding 4 frags in the previous round.
So now another push back to try and equalize things from Phelps. He gets found by Kiyoshima, and this reset's massive as well, because not only will it be a reset against SK, talked about the 4 people staying alive, it's 5 digits for everyone on FaZe Clan. So they have a huge first half lead that SK are going to struggle to pull back. Now they're just waiting to spot Banana in case there's going to be any further aggression from SK trying to equalize. They'll head back over toward the A side. 1 player left to anchor it, as they're going to have to go for a fast flank and pincer them, and they're aware of it. They still have Nico to watch it, but Fallen's found him. That'll open up a lot of space. And a deep anchor toward Tree. It's on Taco. We said he hadn't had any kills yet. Finds 2 big ones. That'll hold off Bomb, but he's running low on ammo and life as well, as Alu will put him down. Opens up Diggity side, but this is where the fast flank, Fallen getting that kill and opening up for the rotation, starts to be a factor. He's smoked off, which will benefit the planter default, as Alu slips inside of the site, but Fur continues to get closer, and it's low HP for Kiyoshima inside of the pit. Fallen still smoked. Fur finds Kiyo, and Alu has to go Kenny S. Close AWP inside of the A site, spots the feet, finds the first. He's already spotted the second as well, walking out from the apartments. He's limited by the flames, but it's gonna be a hard push in from Fur, and Alu can't land it. Fur finds 2 in a row for SK.
Just about. It's Faze down in a 5-on-3 situation in their favor. They did everything perfectly up to that point. Taco, like you said, hadn't really arrived in this game so far. 2 massive kills from him on the quad side to give them an opportunity for that retake at that point. Alu, everything could have been forgiven if he wins that clutch. That would have been a huge round for them to pick up, but not meant to be. The reset is avoided for SK Gaming. 6-2 now. Faze still with plenty of cash available, even after the rebuys. They've got 6K over that on 3 players. Nico, especially $8,000 for him. The double orb setup, though, still ringing true for SK overall. 2 players towards Banana. Not setting 3 that like a lot of teams are doing these days and using the smoke at the side of the round. This is more traditional to what we're used to seeing on Inferno. Default once again. Slower paced counter-strike we're seeing from FaZe on this map. They were relying on a lot of executions and rushes in previous maps, and we'll see whether they can get back into this one after losing 2 in a row.
Smokes down, and Fur thinks of trying to push through. He's already cleared out backside of the half wall. And we'll push out Boiler. No one to cover Diggity from the front side of it. They have to watch the top shot inside. Cold, not able to connect. Shoulder bait out from Rain. It wasn't even intentional. He was just peeking around toward Pit. It wasn't a Jigglypuff, as Chad suggested on the desk.
Well, for now, good positional control from Faze. So far, so good on the default. You push the CTs back, you have mid control, you still have smokes for an execution here. It's up to the CTs now to try and find the picks, but they have got 4 players in the A side. Very comfortable there, and the first pick comes in. Taco and Cold Zera going to town on the outside.
It's back through the smoke, and Taco does get Rain as well. That's going to open things severely for Phelps to just watch the wrap. However, he's taken by Nico, and Cold's got to slip in with Alu, striking from behind on the AWP. It's now down to the 1 versus 1. And it's Alu that's got to go back aggressive toward middle ball. So now he misses the shot, and again, Fur wins. Another 1 versus 1 between the 2 of them.
Yeah, Alu coming so close every single time. He read it as well, got the shot off, but just couldn't quite hit the target there. 3 rounds in a row for SK. Pause comes in. We did say plenty of money available for FaZe. You can see Nico on screen now, $11,000. Alu, if he wins one of these clutches, that'll bring him right back into this grand final. Not happening so far. And it's SK coming to life now. This is FaZe Clan's pick. They're very good on this map indeed, and it's showing in the initial sectors. A huge scoreline, 6-0 to kick this one off, but SK now, money not stable for sure. Lots of 1v1s going down here, and that's evident going into round number 10. This is why Faze will take the pauses to work out the opposition situation as well to calculate their own. So 2 UMPs for SK. Fallen yet to buy. He certainly can't get the AWP out. coldzera still has his. Pause will be coming in momentarily. Fallen can drop the weapon. He has no armor, so maybe, he has got an AWP on the floor. So they've managed to scrape together what they have to get that double AWP set up out once again.
This is the thing. It's 3 rounds in a row for SK that have all come down to clutches.
Yeah.
Imagine they lost any of those. Faze would have cracked the game wide open once more. They still can now. Yeah, well, that's what they know. So here we go then. Round number 10. This has been a much better map for Faze. UMP's on 2 players now for SK. Fallen watching that wall position once again. Alu pre-firing him there in the previous round. 1:35, and once again, slow and steady. Get banana control. Focus on one area of the map to begin things, push the CTs back, bait out some utility, and then fall back and see whether you can go for those full executions. Bomb still down at T steps for now. Rain has apartment's control. No real CT presence there, so they'll be granted permission to walk around the bedroom area. Fakes it. Not advised, ill-advised. In fact, as Nico's there to wait. Going in fine first spot, 10. Easy adjustment on the shot. Another 2-man advantage. And this might be where the small run of 3 for SK comes to an end.
I think you're absolutely right, and we know how bad the money is for SK. 3 in a row, sure, but so many tight 1v1s means they have to save the weaponry here. B site, notoriously one of the hardest in the game to retake there, especially when the smoke's down. 5 T's alive. Both of your B players have fallen, and more senses than one, considering that's one of the name of the players, you know. But number 10, Faze pick one up after losing 3 in a row. And it's the M4, the AWP, and the UMP saved here. Nico, he's again delivering a world-class performance here. So many good rounds from him, and Kiyashima wants to step up as well. These are massive kills, and considering the money situation for the CT side.
This is the important weapon that they need to keep, though, for Cold. And he should do so. No one around, no one near enough to the arch to make it there in time. But 7 for Faze, and the money, it's been dwindled away. It was never really building, to be fair, to SK. They were battling their way back into the game. They needed one convincing round, and they might have had a chance to start to chisel into Faze. But yeah, look at that, 1, 1, and 1.
Yeah. And Faze, tons of money for them, but I'm looking at the situation for SK. The coldzera this time, they have faith in it. It's going to be a double eco situation, so they're going to force around this. 5.7s, P250s, a UMP, coldzera. A lot of pressure on his shoulders to perform here. It's fast play from Carrigan. This burst kills everything, and he's getting overwhelmed by the pistols, but Rain, he fights back. 2 kills in his favor.
Both of them, as they try and catch them off towards sandbags. Much faster pace to this round, but it is down to the AWP that they saved in the last one to try and hold this off. And he's getting caught on top of the stairs fast enough, mind you, from Cold to respond. But that'll just say, no problem, bomb to go to B.
A bit dicey there with the Molotovs and flashbangs going off at the top of Banana, but Rain, he saved the day. Carrigan couldn't find the shots, but he did a lot of damage. And on the other side, Kiyashima watching for the flanks. He nails 2 AK kills, and that's big. coldzera once again trying to save his AWP. It's going to be 2 rounds in a row for Faze. I'll just reiterate as well, certainly a CT-sided map still, and Faze looking much better now. And map number 3. 3 players surviving, their money continues to swell. Going into the next round as well, only $1,900 for SK, so I don't think they'll be forcing around it, and coldzera gives his position away. Can he survive?
Hunt him. They know what this AWP means, and they know they've got the money to try and do so. He's got to time this right, Carrigan. With too much noise, that should be enough for him to survive. Oh, he wants to peek it. That's the wrong play. Great shot from Rain. Cold had no need to go for that.
Yeah. It's so important, he says, the AWP. There's absolutely nothing going to round number 12, but I'm not sure the AWP would have saved them regardless. Look how much fire, all the flashbangs going up as well. There's the play from Rain. That's secured, and Kiyashima as well, like we said, watching those flanks. Nice work by him, anticipating those pushes coming in. It's such a strong position. You can actually lock down the complete banana area as well, and if things go wrong, he can push through CT spawn and be the flank play to actually save the day, if required. Fulluka now for SK, 8-3. This is looking very promising for the international side, so P250 and a Deagle, that's all SK will bring into round number 12. And Nico, once again, nice little kill towards Banana. He's been great all series. He's probably the only player who's been consistently performing so far for the Faze side, continuing a good performance here.
First, trying to wait for them to get closer before he acts with the P250, but I think it's all desperate hope at this point as well, with Phelps going down. check. Rain already has the kill. Doesn't even need the op to fire into the dead body. And first, still gonna wait to see if they'll get closer. This is gonna be 9-3 for Faze.
Oh yes, that's for sure. Desperately sitting behind the flank there, hoping he can get something going here. On top of his teammate as well, protecting his brother's corpse.
How does that smell? Good thing he's wearing a gas mask, Henry.
Well, for now, we'll just be holding up, and there's going to be Nika that finds him as well. Nice little wallbang to finish things off. And there it is. 9th round found for Faze. This is looking great. Another pause coming in, and still SK to struggle. They cannot bring a glass cannon orb into this round. The most amount of money they have is Fur with $4,400. You need $4,750 to bring even a glass cannon orb into the fray, but another pause to discuss what's going wrong here. How are we being overwhelmed? But to be fair, Faze are bringing a very dynamic game. They're changing the pace every single time, just as SK kind of adjust to what they're doing. They've been doing lots of defaults, not so many executes, and just as SK look comfortable, full-on B-rush, mow them down, and actually managing to take over that site and completely overwhelm the money. So here we go, round number 13. Unpause will be coming in any second. The final buy comes in for SK. 1 Famous for Phelps, 4 and 4s, no kits. Only 1 Incendiary as well. This is a very difficult round. Problem with Inferno is as well, yes, you can get map control by on the CD side by smoking to the bottom and actually getting down there. It's difficult to find active kills without the AWPs. That's why they're so beneficial. That double orb setup is so prevalent these days.
Kerrigan with the early spawn, not one in the AWP. Obvious reasons, it's Ali that'll hold off bottom and middle. For SK, desperate measure in this round. So they've bought fully down 150, the most they've got left over for Phelps. It'll be 4th round loss bonus. So 2 buys left if they don't win this, and then round 15. Phelps early rotation as well goes back to Speedway at CT spawn. It's not often we see this from most teams in this current iteration of Inferno, that early banana control. Normally we're seeing teams get toward apartments instead and then go back once the CTs have bled themselves out, but Faze wants to take it. It might be to their detriment. Phelps finds one, backs off to hold the angle, and he's done much better this round. Fallen sprays through. He's been struggling, Phelps, especially when he was playing over toward this position. Taco's been back in the pit. Phelps was inside of the A site quite frequently, but the call to stay toward A this time in the early rotation has been his best round yet, and it might be enough for them to finally pick one up.
Yeah, he can sense the full execution coming in. They actually granted banana control towards Faze. That shouldn't be happening. They shouldn't be in a position where they can fully execute. With all the smokes, the Molotovs, and the flashbang, he knew he had to step up there, get to that off angle. It's a risk, sure. Should have been a one and done position, but he goes wild with that Famous. Managed to find 2 kills and shut it down. A nice shot from Kirishima to take down Fur. That's all they'll be doing into this round. The bomb's down towards quad, and it's being patrolled by 2 CT players as well. So up towards Kirishima. We know the money's low for SK. We've been describing that throughout this half. He knows he can't win the round, but if he can find a couple of kills, that'll certainly be beneficial. Not going to happen though. Phelps takes him down. 4th round for SK Gaming. And they managed to keep 4 players alive, so they can start to balance the books a little bit here. And here's the replay from Phelps, like I said. He knows the execution's coming in. He's got to shut it down before they have a chance to really get in there. The Famous. We talk about that not being used so much these days, but he goes above and beyond with that weapon that round.
And he only gets his 5th kill of the half.
Yeah, right.
3 in that round, then it's only his 5th of the entire half. Taco the same, he's only at 5, Fallen 5. No one's really stepping up in terms of individual performance from SK, but that round in particular, Phelps certainly did, and a good read as well. This time, it's cold, throws the early smoke down banana, and then goes late toward A. Because of that, this means that Faze won't have the early banana control, so they start to evaluate in toward the apartments instead.
All for Alu once more, another full buy for Faze. Their money's starting to be whittled at this point. We'll see what happens as we get into the closing sectors here of the second half. So much banana control. This is a full focus towards middle. This would be control, trying to push those CTs back once again. You can see though, SK are ready for it. That crossfire pit mentality. As we have 2 players, Attacker and Cold Zero. They're all patrolling towards Arch. That's going to be Fallen, rotating back from the B-bomb side, trying to find that first pick. Can they get things rolling here for SK? This could be the smoke off coming momentarily. There it is. Can't do much about that. He'll have to change his position now.
Execution. Toward pit. And top middle. Smoke goes pre-smoke onto library as well, which means they can wrap around faster from the diggity side, but Cold Zero holding true with Taco. Has a refortified position. Meanwhile, Bomb is with Alu. It's back over toward Fur at Banana. And Fallen's realizing it's a good opening shot. Backs off so it's not allowed to wrap. But he's got to kill and get the shot on his own for toward B because of this exact reason. That calls Fallen. This is incredible. Core's fallen away. Rain gets the first rotation kill, and immediately the round turns on its head strictly because the ball makes it in toward B. And they've got to go the long way around and find Rain, who shut them down. What a great round from Faze.
Absolutely. Fur. I thought he had that completely locked down there. It's a 5-on-3. You can hear them coming as well. He allows Alu to walk past him. That's a huge problem. And then Faze, they set themselves up perfectly here. Look at Rain is causing such a nuisance there in CT spawn. It's round number 15. SK being shut down once more. It's UMP's Max 7 CZ to finish with the first half. 11-4. Finally, Faze looking dominant here in the grand final. This is the Faze we've come to expect, and we haven't seen them at all here today. And it's looking much better now. Full buy for them. Nothing to work with for SK. Certainly no AWP. And we'll see what they can do with limited weaponry. Max 7 for Fallen.
Cold and Taco again going to try and work together toward the pit side. It's Kyo, Rain, Kerrigan all starting to evaluate the boiler and apartment side. In fact, Kiyoshima has gotten much closer to the balcony. Waiting the entry point. This team can get a flash over beyond Cold. Push Taco out of position, allow Kyo to walk in. Fallen's hoping they run around carelessly at the arch side. Get the quick shot onto Kerrigan, who dropped back the bomb so we can start to evaluate this. The longer they make this angle, though, the more it favors the AK. Knows he's there because of the smoke. Gets an early shot in, but not a kill. Wants more. And smartly done from Fallen. Taco and Fur have done an excellent job as well. As Taco's picked up an AK-47, he struck and took down Kyo. So it's a 5 versus 2.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily comfortable just yet because bomb is still in the hands of SK. Now the one saving grace in all this is Fur. His position on the AK. He's gotten all the way to the bottom of Banana, which means they can rotate around and that's done. That'll be a nice shot from Alu, but yeah.
Submits, just kill me, get it over with.
I admire that, but it makes it SK getting their 5th round. Either way, 10 rounds for Faze, and even in 3 of the 5 rounds SK won, they were the better team. They were much better throughout the whole half, and that's exactly what we were expecting to see from them eventually.
Absolutely. Well, this is much better from FaZe Clan. Let's see if they can keep it up. We'll take a break and come back with the second half of Inferno.
Well, another team reaches double digits before half. This time, finally, it's Faze Clan. They got the pistol to start things off, and they took a dominant control, especially economically, of the half. They've not yet been broken down to pistols, other than the pistol round.
Yeah, they looked much better there. That's the Faze we've come to expect now in the last few tournaments. This lineup can be dominant, and this is a map that's in their control. We'll get into it then, shall we, Matt? It's going to be a second half pistol for Faze. 5 sets of armor on the CT side. 4 players going towards mid. What's the play here? They're getting so aggressive. I love it.
Kerrigan trying to find the shot down alt mid. That distracts them, though, enough to allow Alu to slip in. He loves to do that with an AWP, so keep that in mind when this half gets rolling in its full force. Taco, though, does get the kill back, and it levels us for a moment, and it gives SK a bit of room to work with. They'll split up no one over toward B. Okay, they've rotated Nico back now.
So going for those aggressive plays at the start of the round, obviously designed to find early frags, but it's given them a 4-on-4 rain headshot as well. That actually benefits SK quite a lot now. They've got plenty of time to work with. They still have 4 players alive. Falling with a decoy, so expended the utility at the start. Heading towards middle here with 1 player holding banana, and that's going to be Phelps.
So Keo takes the aggro away toward Arch side, and Kerrigan tries to strike upon it, but neither of them find kills and have to fall away. It also limits them toward top of mid. If Phelps were to go now, especially if he can find a kill on Nico, it's going to hold Rain in place. Nico seems like he wants to try and push down and lock them in toward middle. He'll check this. Phelps will not take it back. I thought he would for sure. It looked like he was already getting ready to swing his aim. But getting that kill, it's going to leave Rain inside of B and make it a much easier 3-2 take onto the A site. Keo! Lights out, more like KO as he takes down Fall, and he's got to back off after missing the second shot. Phelps will get Rain back. And that limits off the play because B opened up. They wrap through the arch. Kiyoshima's going to try and catch them off, but Cold is waiting for it. And Kiyo's aware that he likely is, but it doesn't even matter.
Now we're getting into it. Some 6 shots landing there in the pistols at the Kerrigan. 3 versus 1. The bomb will go down, and the B side. Oh, will it? It's got 7 seconds. That was close, and Kerrigan takes him down. That could have been the round there and then, Matt. Narrowly avoids the disaster. SK Gaming, Taco to save the day. There was 1 second in that. It obviously looked like a very comfortable situation overall, but that was tight, believe me. Well then, Kiyoshima did everything he could, but it came down to Phelps, holding that B position, Nikan checking the wall possession. Once that player goes down, they have to force a rotation from the A site, and then SK, the world is their oyster at that point. So many options. Back towards B, Phelps is ascertaining that area is clear, and they win the round. A much needed pistol there for SK, 10-6. The pressure is now on for Faze. They will be forced by in the second round, and the airstrike comes to the banana. Nico, good night, 5-on-4.
Smoke down, Kerrigan, nothing in it for him. Mac 10 will take his head off as he walks into the site. And they put the 3 smokes in play. Bomb gets planted. Orange is 1. Alu, Rain, and Keo going to sit back, try and hold on to the Deagle and 5-7. All 3 with head armor as well. So SK will get potentially their 3-0 start, which makes us come to a score line of what will be 10-8.
Will indeed. You might as well just save the head armor here. It's a big investment. That's $1,000 a piece. And the Deagles, of course, 700 as well, so worth saving. This round is out of their grasp. Phelps patrols the bomb, denies any ninjas, and it's going to be Faze holding in the pit for now. And you can see them just holding a crossfire. Obviously the objective to save their weaponry and armor, but try and get some kills as well. That's not bad. Kiyoshima seems on point with the pistols today, does he not?
Certainly this half he has been. Gets a very fast shot that time. They'll keep everything up, so they have 3 players that have armor and pistols. Might be something to consider just to grab 1 kit to go with it if they want to play aggressive with that, but they won't. They're going to sit around 2K each. Likewise on the SK side, they're going to stick with the 4 SMGs and Taco on the only AK, which means the Deagles, if you want to get argumentative, have the advantage at range. Obviously, they don't have the DPS, but they've definitely got the headshot potential.
Absolutely. Well, it's a complete A stack here from the CT side. You can see the minimap. Not really much they can do if SK go towards B, and that's looking likely right now. Phelps and Fer get up to the top of the banana, uncontested, so they'll be walking in momentarily. They're being tentative for now, but Faze, they're taking a bit of a gamble here, like we said. Deagles saved in the previous round, 3 of those, and Smoke's coming in. This round is over. I know it seems ambitious, but once again to B, and that bomb's planted. Nothing the CTs can do about this. This might be a kill of no. This might be a round of no kills, you know. We have seen it happen.
Yeah, we have, but it's pretty rare. The question is, does SK want to pursue the kills? Is it worth it? It's just Eagles and armor. They're going to have that in the next round anyway. You can keep every SMG up. Okay. Keep every SMG up. play the bonus round out. That said, you can send that SMG out. You can afford to have it go down like we talked about on Train. You lose 1 or 2 players. And you just buy out the rifle on him. Taco, important kill for him though. He's the one with the AK. Kills off Kerrigan, who snuck down alt middle, and he was wise to it.
There it is. SK Gaming do find that open bomb site phase. Like we said, a bit of a gamble there. Just hope for the best. Not really much you can do with no grenades and just a couple of pistols. See what you can do with that stack and hope SK make a mistake and walk into the Lion's Den. Not going to be the case though. Faze will be trying to save the armor once more. Like you said, money's been limited after force buy in the second round. Shima has been good with the deagle so far. Can he get anything more? He cannot. coldzera takes him down. Attacking might find another kill as well. He'll just be on 10 HP. Hoping the CDs don't find him and they won't recover the AK, but at least they take some money away from SK. Now we're getting a nice close game, 10-8 as we enter that first gun round. Now map. Alu, poor grand final so far, but this is his best map by far, and he's getting warmed up in this grand final. Great spawn as well. Yeah, you're right. This is looking great. He's very aggressive, defining the way the orc should be used on this map. Let's see what he can do with it.
I don't know if he should be used, because very few seem to be able to get away with what he can do. He's not going to push mid this time. Gets to the corner, but flashed off. He won't have the advantage on the angle. And Fallen does have an AWP of his own, but he's not peeking mid, at least yet. Now he's smoked off. He will start to turn his attention that direction. Good movement mechanics. Well done, Fallen.
Yeah.
Fur has already made his way into Boiler as well. Tight angle, Alu not peeking in toward it just yet. Device-esque. He's watching wide side smoke to make sure, and I guess toward the Boiler door by default. To make sure no one's going to push through and catch them off. Flash in, he has to give up that position. So twice he's been thwarted by a simple flashbang. Well placed from SK. Nico flash as well is going to back them off as they get closer. So they've not only pushed the op back on A, as well as the players toward pit, they've now pushed Nico out of Banana. This is very good map control from SK.
Absolutely, this is perfect. They still have their smokes, their molotovs, the flashbangs as well. Full banana control. You see the bombs on a T-spawn, they have 45 seconds. This is what we've come to expect of SK in this tournament, especially slow and precise control of the map, saving utility and sticking together, finding frags that presented to you and pushing the CTs back. Fallen, so great so far. Can't find a shot just yet, and he's going to be taken down surely, but it's quickly replied by Phelps.
Very well traded indeed, as Kerrigan has to find better position. UMP, he's already shot though before he gets to new box.
Rough.
Which means they know exactly where he is. They weren't looking at him, but he was fearing that they might be when he spotted them in turn. Molotov off toward Ruins, and now they'll start to pursue and push onto him. Good play from Furt, takes it without going down. M4, AWP, retake. No one to be able to spray through and find Cold. They do a little bit of damage, but it's not before the bomb is already planted, and a very fractional amount at that. As there's no kit on any of the Faze players, and they've got a problem because Rain is well committed to this at this point in time. If they're going to save, they've got to bail him out of that position alone.
Looks like they're going for it, Matt. No kids, bomb ticking away. coldzera set up watching CD spawn as well. Rain finds a kill, but I don't think they have a chance within this one. What's the play here?
Cold double scopes in after that kill comes around because he says, no, you're not getting around that corner. I know what's up. Here's the jump come through, but Phelps covers that off. He can continue to watch towards CT. And CT isn't going to be occupied any further because Alu runs away and SK will make it a one-round game.
I'm loving this brand of counter-strike from SK right now. This is just textbook stuff. Slow, precise, get that map control, save your utility, push those CTs back, and you're trading frags, not giving anything away, eradicating every single risk as well. You could see Kerrigan, he knew that round was over. He had no backup, new box, and they're not even worried about it too much. Actually, just making sure they cover every single angle, let him be at that new box. We know he can't hurt us. He's only got that UMP, found that kill, everything locked out, and Faze, they went for a bit of a retake there, but with no kit. I don't think that was worth it. I think you've got this lead. Let's not throw our money in the bin. They save an AWP, and Ali, we know he's good on this map. This is what we're talking about. That aggression towards T-steps he goes, but flashed off for now, and running through Molotov just about survives.
50 HP. It is textbook from SK. If you go back as far as even Cluj days, when they were still Luminosity, they were very good on this map. They actually beat Fnatic on it in the group stages, and that was just before the Fnatic dominance. One of the things that they were so good at was the triple Molotov strat in toward the B site, one of which is no longer available because they no longer have the wicket fence toward New Box, and they've been trying to figure out ways to get control without having that. You can still throw it. You've got to be closer to sandbags, but without having that safety in throwing it. They've got a fully occupied top of Banana before they can even attempt to try and do it. Seemingly, they've still got something up their sleeve on this map. As we're within one, damage done, as you say, both to Nico and Alu.
3 players at B, and it's up to Phelps now to find the entry. Great so far. Can't quite spot Rain, but now he will, but he's met his maker. There's the Deagle headshot to find the first kill, and now something to build upon here for the Faze side.
We go with the Deagle. He's going to switch his angle. Or thinks about it at least. He's got to remember that Rain is still in position in front of him with these pistols. They've got to get the openers, and they've got at least Phelps down. They aren't going to have much to trade. That's good from Rain.
Wants some more as well.
He switched oranges 1 to oranges 2, but he's found immediately as Cold swings in. So even though just trying to change the angle up ever so slightly, he can't get the headshot. Still 3's up, and a banana rotation coming in from Kerrigan. There's no kit in all of this. Alu does still have the AWP though, until Fer gets in position to beat the 2, and I thought he was scoped in and ready for that peak, anticipating it perhaps, as Cold will take down Kerrigan, and that's going to be a round done. Just Kiyoshima remaining. And that means, Henry, it's 10-10. 5 straight rounds for SK. Tie game, and they are on series map for them. It's 2-0.
Absolutely. Well, Faze can get another bite of the cherry here. It's going to be a full buy for them. Alu, glass cannon. That's been the storyline of this map. It seems Fallen was in a horrible financial situation in the first half, but look how much money they have now. High rolling 3 players on above $8,000. Cold Zero leading the money chart there with over 10K. That's not too bad at all. Gives them a bit more room to work with. They can be a little bit more audacious, but so far it's been a very calm performance on the T side from them. Molotov to the start now. That's going to be a little bit dicey for the CTs. Not taking any damage just yet, but locked in position as Nika decides to fall back. Another default here. They're so good at this. Fallen. Tactical mastermind behind SK Gaming, setting up the smokes out. Bit more of an execution this time. Alu, smoked out. What can he do?
Interesting lineup for Phelps to throw that smoke, because he is actually vulnerable. If anyone were to peek top middle, Keo, anticipating a flash, looked away, but managed to get his aim back in time to take down Taco. Phelps goes back to find Kerrigan. This will open up the rotation. Kiyoshima's still alive and well in pit with smokes down in front of him that'll hold off SK. So they won't have full access just yet. Kerrigan will subside his pressure and leave Nico back over toward B. It might be their first round. It's just one more to find. Cold Zero, and he is going to be found quite quickly as well.
That kill he gets there, that's important, man. Sure, it's their first round on the board, but every single player surviving is important. That's another 5 grand thrown away there. So Cold Zero, like we said, lots of money available. It's a decent hold by Faze. That's a change of pace by SK as well. They've been using those slow defaults every single round so far. This time, set piece right off the bat. Smokes all over the A side towards Library, on top of the hay bales as well. Molotovs on the side, flashbangs going in. Kiyoshima up close and personal, finds the first kill, shuts it down, gets those crossfires set up, and it's a decent retake overall by Faze, but it was still quite the expensive round. Only 2 surviving in the end. So Kerrigan, he's down to the UMP. Very good with that weapon, but I think it's time for a pause. SK Gaming just reading the situation, probably kind of calculating the money situation, working out, okay, did they have the incendiaries now? We know they picked up the AWP. We know what Alu likes to do. How can we shut it down? Fallen picks up the AWP himself for the first time here on the T side. The Faze, for now, they take the lead back. Their first round on the CT half gives them the scoreline of 11-10.
Well, it means, though, that they are limited in what they can buy, so Kerrigan has to stand the UMP. Alu does manage to get the op saved over. Rain, I believe, was the one to grab at the end of the round.
Oh, there it is.
Alu with the op goes aggressive and finds Fallen, who did have the AWP on the T side again. See if that gets picked up and carried over by someone such as Cold or Phelps, who's been using it a few times on train. Mind you, when he didn't have armor, but Phelps, speaking of, is going to see a gun barrel.
Why?
And Nico just walks into it.
There was no need for that. They've got that advantage. They've thrown it away. There's absolutely no reason to push that position. Like, Alu's low HP now. He's got a hold banana by himself. That's forcing rotation. Fur's being a nuisance. There's a nice boost from Kiyoshima there, but he's found out that didn't make any sense for me. Why are Faze doing this?
And you could definitely see the swing in things. The kill distribution between the two teams was massive. It started to be the same thing in reverse from SK, in that they're dominating the rounds they win. They're keeping multiple players alive, and as you said, even in the last round, just getting kills to damage the economy.
Yeah, that's why it's so fragile right now. Take the advantage and keep it. Put the pressure towards the terrorists now. Now you've given the 2 kills away, and you've got UMP on 1 player, Alu on 29 HP. This is an absolute disaster.
Well, it's over toward A instead that the attention will go. Only 1 player directly in the site. They've elected to rotate Kerrigan back towards CT. Smoke down, Rain. Has to backpedal. He knows that they're likely to be coming out from apartments as well, as they put their own self-smoke that they want to try and then flash through and jump toward the pit without being seen. The rest head toward Rap on Arch. Yeah, Rain is in a very tough position. He's trying to do it again. Cue the entrance. Where is it? From above. They give him 2 kills. Why is Taco not? He's gone back. Taco went back around the other way. He didn't come out of apartments. He was scared to walk through the smoke, and that actually gave Rain a lot more room to work with. If he just jumped down, little did he know, he would have easily found a kill, but he leaves it in a 2 versus 2 as a result of it. So Rain may have done just enough. And Alu, although it's double op on the retake with double kits as well, they're going to try and swing in. They've switched 1 to an AK. Kerrigan will start to push, but Alu's got position. Taco trades immediately. But they know where Kerrigan is already, and he's making noise inside of the smoke. He's trying to find his way through, and Taco's not sure if he's gone in or not. He's gonna realize now, there's no need for him to reface. He elects to, needs to be careful, and Kerrigan gets gifted the round.
Well then, we thought Rain was done for in that pit position, but misses a few shots that makes up for it. I'm not sure how he survived for so long. It was up to Kerrigan in the 1v1 situation. This round was huge, and Faze delivered 2 in a row, thanks to the in-game lead, who's actually had a very quiet performance so far. He gets 2 kills in that round, Matt, to bring his grand total to 6. He's been absent here so far. He's actually been pretty decent overall, but that's a huge round for him to pick up and keep the head of Faze above water for now. Yeah, it is 6 kills. That's massive, the fact that he manages to do it. But one player surviving once again. Huge reset potential. SK Gaming have plenty of money to answer back here, and they know it. So they're going to be applying the pressure nice and quick towards Banana. Phelps to the top, covered by Fallen as well. Alu has the AWP, but he's not so aggressive this time. And I have to say, Faze finding a lifeline like that. Really poor decision by Nico and Co towards Banana. They did not deserve to win that round.
Phelps is fireproof. It's a pretty good party trick, Phelps. Nico wants to spray inside of the smoke. No one's going to push directly into it. Taco, meanwhile, will get back in a better position at apartments with Fur to work with. They've split 3-2 to try and push back and get map control. They haven't done much about Alu's position, however. Which could be to their detriment. Kerrigan dodges the flash, wants to get aggressive, flashed in on his own. Just a peek for information. Flashes in behind, don't reveal much, but the smoke towards CT lets Phelps get up closer. This should be over toward B.
Like we said, we know the money's low for Faze. This is SK baiting out any smokes they may have, incendiaries and all the sort, but they still have 2 remaining themselves on the T side, and they're walking in. This is a contact play.
Contact indeed, but only 2 smokes, as you say, and 1 Molotov. They can't clear the positions they normally do, and they walk into a slaughter. Kerrigan stepping up now as he comes alive late. Cold, though. As cold as ever. He's got 2 kills back. Alu, the first to rotate around, will get in position, but not much beyond. He can't afford to give himself up early. Cold after the plant. He's got a wide face on Ruins and try and surprise them before they get in position. Taco will have the post plant. Cold has made it work, takes down Rain. And he won't sit around for more. He'll get to a safer position to give information. This is playing for Taco at this point. Taco is the man that has the post plant advantage. Cold may not even need to play for him. He spotted Alu as well. And Cold Zero can't quite close it, but gets Taco the perfect opportunity. And it goes to 12-11.
What a round that was. Cold Zero, considered one of the absolute best players in the world, delivers the performance just as they needed as well. That's a huge round. Look at the devastating effect it's had towards Faze. Nothing available for them in terms of a buy. That's such a big round overall. That's why they're fighting tooth and nail to get these rounds on the board. It was a few in a row for Faze, but they were so tight. So many 1v1 clutches there, and they've been broken down now. SK, this could actually find them 2 rounds. It will be Faze forcing into this. I can see Kiyoshima's purchased the CZ armor as well, taking himself down to $0. Faze certainly amazing with the pistols there, but couldn't quite find quite enough in that previous round. Here's the stats for you right now. Fallen actually dropping off quite dramatically considering his performance so far. 8 and 17, but that was the problem with the money we discussed in the first half. Couldn't really get rolling at all.
And a T-side op on Inferno isn't exactly...
Yeah, it's not going to find you loads of frags, right? It's so difficult. You can get like 1 per round just to open the map up, and your teammates do the rest of the work at that point. So yeah, it's a difficult map for AWPers generally. Like Yanko, I know especially, thinks that the T-side AWP isn't really viable. He doesn't think it really has a place. It's quite very situational.
Yeah, like old Astralis, Kerrigan Astralis, TSM even days, they used to say, no, we're not running one on the T-side. We're going 5 AKs always.
And it's the final buy. Down to $0. Straight to that. Alu keeps his money a little bit more than 1,500. CZs, Eagles, PT50s, and a UMP. A couple of smokes to work with. That's one of them gone. SK knowing the money's so low here. This trade frag, contact player, that's absolutely fine. Decent flashbang, Alu has to fall back. And they've got full mid control, and he's once again just saying, yep, just end me. I know I'm done.
I do like it. That's the new signal. Is that? I wonder if he's trying to wave a white flag.
Yeah, this is...
guys, actually, you have the round. How does Fallen do that? Kerrigan, a free kill, and Fallen just, nope, not even close.
He could have got 2 out of that. Fallen's been so fast this event. The flick shots are coming back in. That's like a 180. That's sick. 5 on 2 now.
To Kiyoshima as well on train.
Yeah.
When Kiyo slipped through the 2 radiation towers on the bomb train. Nico and Rain, I think, will just admit defeat. This is going to tie us up again. We went 10-10, 2 rounds. And now 2 rounds back to SK, 12-12. And the T sides have been very impressive. We're seeing execution Counter-Strike out of SK, and it's certainly working.
Especially when you have these kind of rounds and you know they've just got pistols, maybe a force buy with the UMPs to stick together, right? The basic smokes go down, flashes go in. He's got to go kill for kill. That's the main objective when you're up against the pistols. That's what so many teams struggle with that term of concept. You need to make sure no one's doing any fakes or sticking by themselves. Hold the key flanks, work together, dissect the map piece by piece. And at that point, it's difficult to throw those rounds away unless someone goes wild of a deagle. Let's see how that shot went down. I can't believe how fast it looked. Oh. See ya. That's pretty cool. I love that from Fallen.
I can do that.
Yeah, you're famous
Just
for it.
kidding.
Well,
Yeah, maybe with like a 10 sensitivity and 8 bots standing behind me. I'd hit one of them.
well, it's 12-12. We're all tied up here, and it looks like SK, after going 10-5 down in the first half, will take the lead. It has to be Nico at this point. Nico gets the kit. That suggests he's got something up his sleeve. We've seen some amazing rounds from him in the past with just the pistol, and his teammates pushing towards the end of apartments here. Phelps with banana control, joined by Fallen as well. The bomb for second middle. This is another kind of piece-by-piece operation. Let's get some information. Is there any stacks going on? Have they got any weaponry to work with? It's very unlikely, considering they forced in the previous round, excuse me. But for now, bomb back to B, and Faze actually made it an arch. That's kind of insane. Undetected.
Yeah,
This round's over.
that's ridiculous. Nico's plans with a kit are done already. So SK is going to take their first lead, and it's a late lead. Which would you rather have? The lead early or the lead late, Henry?
Yeah, I think I know where you're going with that one. The late lead seems more tantalizing to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Azalu, Keo, and Rain, I think, have already admitted the fact that they've given up B. They'll sit back. Rain does have armor. They'll get a third round loss bonus into the next with about 2K on everyone, so they'll sit at 58 at least for Alu. So they do have an op available, and they should be able to get M4s, or at least, if they want more utility, UMPs on everyone.
Oh, the chips are down, man. This is potentially the last map of this grand final, a best of 5. Faze have been so great in finals recently. This one has certainly been disappointing overall. Good start on Inferno. That lead has slipped away. SK looking phenomenal on the T side here. Another pause. Might as well use it. Robban, the coach behind them, discussing the ideas and how they can really operate here going forward. Faze fan, it's a difficult buy. No kits once again, Matt. No head armor. Not a big deal. There's no UMPs in the opposition, so that's fine. But no incendiaries, 5 smokes. You're starting to get the picture now. It's a difficult buy overall, and we'll see what they can do. They lose this round. They'll only be at, well, it's 4 stage loss benefits on the CT side. That's just not enough. So this is huge now. They need to pick this one up. Do we see an Alu aggressive play down middle? It seemed like SK are aware of it. He gets a couple of kills, but now he's been quiet for the last few. He's going towards apartments from what I can see for now. Actually towards quad, I beg your pardon.
Boiler.
Boiler.
Check. No one inside of it, though. He's not really sure where he wants to play from. He's just going to hold the tight angle toward the boiler doorway. They've given up Arch in doing so. Nico seems like he's trying to force the issue at this point. Alu has gone back to a more default standard position. Not sure what the intention was off the start, but he's back to Arch now. Nico flashed off. Was he spotted? I think Phelps was blinded as well. So it's going to be a straight-up duel between the two, and Phelps, he's going to get the better of him.
Big pick as well. No trade coming from the CT side. Nico isolated by that flashbang. 5 and 4. This is SK's bread and butter with this current play style they have. Get one pick, slow things down, wait for the CT reaction, bait out the grenades. There's nothing left really. And it's up now to Alu to try and get something back. He's towards the arch position. Bomb still in the middle. You can see them spread out. Look at that straight line formation. It's holding every single flank point and waiting for the CTs to flash over, maybe try and get a kill back in return. Something to work with here. They have no nades now, no kits. This is so difficult. How do they win this round?
Cross set toward top mid. Check right, check left. Smoke still down. SK. Fur will be able to hug the wall. And it looks like they want to flash through and try and push Alu back further. This is a big shot for Alu. Hits it as well. Down goes Fur. Shoulder check. Alu gets 2. And that'll be enough to slow down SK for now, but Fallen has pulled it back to grab the bomb. That's why he had to take the fight. And it's Kiyoshima that gets locked off inside of pit. He looks the wrong way at the wrong time. So it all switches again.
Again, 5 seconds. They do this every time, but it's perfect. It's so calculated. And now Carrigan, he's swinging in from the outside, managing to get 1 pick. That's Phelps going down. No kits, remember.
Rain nearly got caught out by that flash. Tagged up, he lost his movement speed. He's down to 43 HP, and Carrigan slightly less as they start to work in. He's going to try and swing in and push out Taka, but Fallen reads it and peeks him at the exact right time. Information, but a miss. And that means it now puts pressure on Taka. Rain has pulled it back. Never in a million years should he have won that first duel, and now he's got a full 10 seconds to defuse the bomb.
Another 1v1 just about going in favor of Faze. Like we said, no kids. How could they win that round? They lost the first pick as well, but Alu, he gets two, and another clutch for Rain. It brings things back at least a little bit now for Faze. The problem is that 1v1 situation, lots of money for SK, nothing really for the aforementioned Faze clan here. It's going to be UMPs, M4s limited once again. They still have so much reset potential here as well. It's two SMGs, and they need to stop losing this first pick now. SK so efficient at dissecting the map. Round number 27, we're going the full distance here. Could be anyone's map still. This is another huge round. No one stable, really, and we'll see what happens as Nico towards the sandbags once again. He was locked out in that position, but it's interesting to see that he hasn't gone for that double orb setup so far. I guess he hasn't really had the opportunity.
Rain burns for alive. And not only that, Phelps walks in to get Nico a greeting. Smoke still down, Fallen wants to walk in with the AWP. It's Kerrigan waiting on the other side of that wall. He's way over towards CT to play a swing support with the man advantage. He can afford to do so, and Alu's got Fallen down. SK slow play, contact style this time, not working for them at all.
Definitely not. Faze challenge it. They knew they had to. Limited weaponry. They managed to get the first 3 picks. They haven't given anything away this round either. Not a single point of damage inflicted. So 1 minute remaining. Taco and Cold Zera. Quite a formidable duo, but it seems like a tall order to me. Kirishima can't quite find those damage there with the range, but still gets information going towards B. That'll send a rotation over towards that side of the map. 45 seconds remaining. Gets a smoke dropped as well. Looking very promising now.
So promising, in fact. The Taco's gone to the bottom of Vault Middle with 36 seconds left, so I think they're going to sit back and try and save on the SK side, a T-sided save. They've got enough money if they save these 2 weapons to buy everyone into the next round, including a T-sided AWP if they elect to do so, which they may do, getting into the desperate stages of this game. It's going to be 14-13 for Faze, and a last buy potentially before map point.
There's the scoreboards and the money right now, so they'll get $1,400 on top of what they have. Coldera has the AWP, Taco of an AK as well, with utility and armor, of course, so definitely worth saving. Oh, this is interesting for Faze. They'll tentatively search the remaining terrorists. Their money's still very weak. They want to make sure they keep all 5 players alive. A very convincing run from Faze. I like that a lot. Had to be assertive, had to find those picks, couldn't allow that full map control to come in. It's certainly a risk, but it works out. Faze take the lead once again as we take another pause here. This has been the best map of the series so far.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And SK and Faze swap the lead once more. AWP has been purchased, by the way. Fallen has gone for it. That's been dropped over.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. Okay, so Cold actually grabbed the one. My mistake, because they had enough to buy. I thought they did buy it out, but no, you're right. It's Phelps still on 59.50.
Yeah, that was saved in the previous. So
that means they can go full AK as well, instead of having to drop one AWP and leaving someone on a UMP.
It still does kind of come down to this round, Matt, because even after the reinvestment, Nate's cost a lot in CSGO. Based on the CT side, that Incendiary is not cheap. So they've gone down to about 2K per player. Lose this and no one surviving, you only get $1,400 on top. It's still very limited, as pointed out in that previous round. So 5 players in the previous round, but 1 before that. That was the problem.
Pass play for Keo toward the apartment. Rain will get underneath of the quad side, but they stack up top Banana early with 3 and a deep smoke. SK's not been able to take that control in the last 3 rounds, which is a large part of why they're not opening the sight.
Hello.
Decent dink, Phelps.
He gets a sound cue of that if you're not aware as well. So he knows, I've dinged a player, that's done. I can actually call the damage has been done, get some ATs towards these steps potentially here. We've got control of Banana. They can even have the option to leave Ali there by himself, especially on that wall position, should be making that jump. Has another chance to do it before the smoke goes down, gets up there, now he's comfortable. You can see right now on the minimap that Nico will be falling back. This is a very strong setup. There it is, Ali patrols B, 4 players on A.
Decent positions as well as Keo gets back a bit closer just to make sure. More so because Alan has no smoke. Yeah. So Keo's going to do exactly that for him.
Then fall back. He'll be going to the A side again. That's quite cool. I like that.
Glad you approve, Henry.
Just helping him out, being a good friend, buying him some time, funneling them towards A essentially with the time remaining.
That's exactly where they look to go. It's Rain down below. Big round for SK. bigger round for Faze if they want map 3. Taco down for as well, and Nico swings. He's got 2 in front, and he's got 2 kills. The bomb on the deck. As Faze look to find 14, Phelps knows the situation, and he knows the AWP is valuable. He'll try and save this, but they're going to hunt him down. Or are they? They don't quite spot. But either way, well done from Faze.
Absolutely, that's much better. This has been such a convincing performance here. Once the second half really got underway, once they got the guns up and running, they weren't actually limited in terms of utility. Great play, holding off a defense. Holding off, no, sorry, an execution like that, so difficult, but look at Nico, perfect positioning, pushes it through the smokes, 2 kills for him, and it's going to be map point finally for FaZe. Haven't really got rolling here in the grand final whatsoever. This has been much better though. T-side was convincing, and now it's looking promising towards the latter stages of the CT half as well. Potentially the final buy here for SK Gaming. The best I can hope for now is overtime. 2 Tech-9s, an AWP for Fallen, a UMP, and 1 AK. Surely this is a chance for FaZe to take us to map number 4.
Phelps is getting close with the Tech-9 though, and they don't suspect it. But this time Nico does at least get the trade immediately. If he gets both kills there, it's game on. This is going to funnel SK back over toward A. 3 coming out of apartments. They want to go fast and going convincing for the plan, but Kiyoshima shuts down the door. The landlord says no, and he'll look back out toward Boiler as Fallen will take him out. It leaves Bomb in the open to grab, but they're down a man, and they've got to find kills. Rain's not going to allow that. Fallen in a 1 versus 2. Quick flash, gets inside the site, spots it, but turns away, and FaZe will finally get a map in this series. The first map anyone has taken off of SK.
That's so true. I didn't even think of it like that. That's actually quite cool. That FaZe finally, just in the nick of time, turn up in this grand final. It was looking so bad for them. I was so disappointed in the first 2 maps, but this was much better. Getting that dominant performance on the T side. But still, SK Gaming, they fought back for middle to be back. They actually looked amazing on the T side themselves. What an impressive play style. They've got this slow, methodical stance, dissecting the map, executing perfectly, planting the bomb perfectly with 5 seconds to go. And just about FaZe hold on and take map number 3.
Number 3, Inferno, goes their way. It certainly sets us up for a series. Interesting that Pistols are still 3-3, that game closer than any other, and it's over to the desk with Mitch while we catch our breath.
And now our title match here at Intel Extreme Masters Sydney is becoming somewhat more of an epic. FaZe keep themselves in it, and it was an impressive performance to boot. Inferno comes up. There were doubts about FaZe's ability to really be able to nullify the strengths of SK on this map, but even looking at that T side, when we saw a player like Alu down banana, peeks Fallen's head off perfectly with the AWP, it was evident to see that in many ways FaZe had done their homework.
Yeah, for sure. And now we're cooking with gas, right? We're getting onto that that 4th map coming up, and this is where the marathon begins. For them to be able to get that map after looking so deflated, especially as SK stole away the lead, you could just see the body language of the FaZe guys. It wasn't really there. And there was a few rounds where it came down to clutches. I know Alu had 2 1v1s. I think Carrigan had 1, and they weren't able to really convert them. Eventually, I think it came down to that 1 round. It was Rain in a 2v1 situation, I believe. Fallen maybe, a little bit overzealous in that going for that second pick. And this is, tiny mistakes like that can cost the game, and it really swung the favor for FaZe.
It was very weird that Fallen actually went for that peak, because he's usually the player who is the most sensible within the team, realizes the situation and doesn't overextend. But yeah, we were here in the pregame questioning the ability of FaZe to grind out games, and here it did seem like SK was in full control, even though they were on the weaker side, on the T side of the map. FaZe towards the very, very end did manage to grind out the win.
There's some concerning things, I guess, from both sides. You talk about the re-peak from Fallen, and then an interesting situation where Alu goes aggressive on banana, gets an early peak with the AWP, and then we see Nico push around the wall, corner, showing himself and giving up a free kill when they have a man advantage.
I mean, I don't know if Phelps, I think he got a kill from that position every single round. I think the problem in that particular round was, I think the communication wasn't on point, because Nico didn't even check that. I think he got the info that banana was clear, but regardless, I agree that with Henry that there's no reason for him to push for a further advantage in a 5v4. His team had a healthy buy. Maybe if you have a weak buy, you feel that 1 kill is not enough for you to close out the round. But yeah, FaZe really struggled to have control of banana in the first part of the second half. Even their retakes, when they wanted to pop flash mid-round and try to retake banana control, even that seemed a bit off. Nico getting caught a couple of times, but in the end, they did manage to pull through.
Yeah, just to build on that communication issue thread, we saw there was the retake that was coming on the B bomb site. I believe it was the first gun round for FaZe, and they were going in and they didn't have a kit. They didn't have anything really. They were locked out by smokes, and you could see that Aloe, he was the first one on the scene. He sussed it. It didn't seem like there was any way in. He started to back off before everybody else, dropped back around to CT, and 2 players were still at coffins going for frags. Aloe was luckily able to get away or save, I believe, but it just seemed like there was lack of communication. That save call should have come in a lot earlier.
Also, I think they were baited. Someone got a kill. I think they wanted to save, and then someone got a kill, and then it was probably that thing where, do we go now?
Yeah.
Can we do it?
Always that confusion,
No,
right?
we can't. Yeah.
Carrigan having some issues there as well. I think after 22 rounds, he'd only managed to amass 6 kills. Now, when we see AWPers in this position, we generally say, well, look, economy wasn't there. They weren't able to get played the way they wanted to play. But Carrigan maybe not in the same position. Any insight as to maybe what was not going right for the caller on Faze?
I think on the T side, obviously, he kind of puts other players in front. He's the guy who tries to create commotion. Maybe if they want to go B, he's the guy going A and trying to force the rotation towards that bomb site so his teammates have an easier way in. But on the CT side, it does seem that at times the communication between him and Nico isn't on point. Like that sometimes he maybe rushes into things. He has the idea, okay, we need to retake banana. We lost too much map control. We're just going to lose the round if we don't do anything about it. But before maybe Nico gets in a position to be pop flashed, Carrigan already throws the flash and then the round falls apart for them. So maybe just being a bit more composed, I think, is the key.
I thought it was all over when coldzera and Taco were able to win that 2v5, right? Carrigan and Nico, they managed to pick up 3 frags between them, and then Carrigan struggled with the pistol to find anything else. The smokes came down, they locked them out of the site. Then when they came in the retake, coldzera found himself in a very interesting off-angle peeking towards coffins and was able to pick up the round from there, and I think it was a 1v1 with Taco, and he finished it off with ease. That's when I thought, this is GG, you know, how are they going to come back in this? But luckily enough, you know, FaZe were able to pull it together so we get to see another map. Something that is really important, though, for me is Fallen's been making some good reads. You saw that there was a low econ buy on their CT side. They had Famis on Phelps. He had double kill, actually triple kill in the round with it. But they didn't have a lot of utility. They lost banana control. So what Fallen did was he called a 3rd member over. They were going to go for banana aggression, but an execute came in at the same time. It was just like a really weird standoff position at the top of the banana mouth, and SK came out on top. So Fallen was making some good calls on the fly there on that CT side, which is definitely what you want to see.
Well, Sydney, the adage goes like this. Love the game, and it will love you back. And now we have you a series. Map 4 is going to be coming around just after the break. It's going to be an interesting one, overpass as well. We'll have to see how these 2 teams fare, and if FaZe can keep this going and take it all the way, or if SK are done with the shenanigans, they're going to end it here.
Do you want to feel like